Ladies and gentlemen, here we go. College Football 27 on Coach Miller's channel. It is finally time. Now, team announcements coming tomorrow, July 5th for our Dynasty, and our official Dynasty is going to launch on July 6th as the game does not come out on PC until then. But for the sake of today's video, we're going to go through some footage. I did a little sim-only Ohio Bobcat Dynasty last night on the PS5 because of the MVP Plus edition, stuff like that. And so there's just a few things that I want to note when it comes to small school rebuilds and how I think I'm going to approach it this year with Dynasty points. So if I think the ratio is good enough when it comes to starting Dynasty points, I'm almost always going to snag the fundraising coordinator support staff. Basically, what this does, I pay $150 at the start of the season and at the end of the season. When we get the refresh of Dynasty points before the transfer portal, I will gain 250 Dynasty points. So you pretty much give a little bit at the beginning and then get more at the end of the season. Also, for my coach build this time around, I still went with recruiter. I got advanced look on quarterbacks, and then I got 3 out of 4 on D-line and O-line. That way we got some starting interest from them to start off Dynasty with Ohio. And of course, we do have Rainmaker with MVP Plus. We went with Dealmaker, which increases recruiting influence from NIL offers. And we also did contract incentives, which increases Dynasty points from 80 expectation goal. So that was kind of like how we spent our points initially with our coach build. I'm now going to skip to the end of year number 1, pretty much. And this is where we are going to get into our coordinators. So I fired both my coordinators because they wanted a bit too much money and they weren't really what I was looking for. So I'm a recruiter. And what I like to do when I go the recruiting path at a smaller school, I love to just completely go all in on that. What does that mean? It means that I'm going to come here and go to affordable, and I'm going to look for an elite recruiting coach. And lo and behold, there was one on here for 25 Dynasty points value-wise. He wasn't too interested, so we're going to give him a bit more money. But there you go, an elite recruiting OC offered him 35, I think. There we go. And then we looked for the same thing when it comes to defensive coordinator. We couldn't find that, but we did find this guy, Pattison, who has Master Motivator. So if you can look for a value guy that has that upper tier of one of the coaching archetypes, do that. And then, of course, try and hire a free coach as well in case you don't get the coach that you really, really want. So that's kind of what I did with coaching, support staff, didn't touch facilities, whatever. Towards the end of the season, at the players maybe leaving screen, when you can offer them NIL, we have actually a pretty good player in Charlie Christopher who has star dev, but he wants 290 NIL, which is fair. He's a great player, but you're going to see here, his meter doesn't budge until we reach 440 NIL. And I was just thinking, I was like, look top right. Okay, we have 2,355. So your Dynasty points kind of replenish after bowl week, after bowl season. So you get points from 80 expectations, you get points from accomplishing things as a coach. And so Ohio specifically had an 80 expectation that if we won 75% of our conference games, then we got 500 dynasty points. We did that. We had some players leave. We got some stuff from just experience in the season. We won a bowl game. We went like 12-2, 11-2, something like that. We finished 24th, like the nation had a great season. So we got a lot of dynasty points in, which is great. But here, I'm still not willing to retain a an outside linebacker for over 500 NIL just to keep his risk of leaving down, because his deal breaker is playing style, which means we didn't play his style of game. I'm saying? We didn't get enough sacks, whatever. And then even with this guy, DJ Walker, normal dev, yes, he'd be a senior next year, but I was like, I would much rather spread this money out. And so that's exactly what we did. I just left them on their expected NIL and said, it is what it is. We'll do that. And then we kind of went down here and I looked for impact dev players, and we made sure to keep all of our impact dev players. Now we're going to go over to our recruiting class for the year. So this is after the transfer portal. As you can see, I had over 2,000 dynasty points to spend. And after we signed our class, we still have 810. So I spent a significant portion of our dynasty points on our roster, but not all of them. We still have almost 1,000 left to spend after the transfer portal. We signed the 68th best class in the nation, and we signed 32 prospects, which is by far the most prospects I've ever signed in a recruiting class in an EA college football game. Okay, it's possible. And I'm going to kind of tell you how I did it now. 1 4-star, 6 3-stars, 16 2-stars, and 9 1-stars. So I think the depth of the class, the number that rose, is because we signed 9 1-stars, which that's actually not wonderful, but you need depth in your organization. Y'all know that recruiting board scream all that red because you need positions and whatnot. Hopefully those 9 1-stars maybe never see the field for our program, but you still need those guys in your organization that aren't going to transfer, that are going to be there, that are going to grow when you're at Ohio, is what it is. Now, let's take a look at how this class was constructed. And this is a major key for you guys. If you're at a small school, listen up to me real quick. Do not be afraid to spend on transfers, but this is how you do it. As you can see, we have this Cam McKell, which, by the way, insane player, 95 speed, going to be a stud for us next season. Notice this, transfer sophomore. That means that next year he's going to be a draft eligible junior. He's probably going to pop off for me with 95 speed in the MAC on Ohio, right? If he has a great season, he gets drafted, great. Hasta la vista. That 420 comes off my books, and we do it again next year on a guy that hopefully gets drafted or is a senior. So we spent 420. We doubled his expected NIL, which is crazy, but he'll probably be off the books after this year. Same thing with Xavier Robinson, which you'll see in a second. Xavier Robinson becomes the best player on my roster. We spent double his NIL. It says transfer junior. That means he'll be a senior this year. And no matter what we do, he's going to be gone off the books next year. That 250 is going to be available for us again. Same here with Marquise Lightfoot. Okay. Transfer junior, spent 250, double his NIL. He'll be off the books next year. We transfer freshman, spent 60. And then we invested in only two high school recruits in this class. It was this 3-star Jem Sharif or Sheriff Hazel, a 3-star quarterback. We spent $205 on him. Now he's not that great of an overall. So what do we do? When in the portal, we got Dylan Carter, who will be a senior for us next year. He'll come off the books, and he will be our starting quarterback this coming year as we train up the 3-star gem Hazel. And we also invested in this Lewis Osgood speed rusher, 140 in high school as well. So just keep a few of those names in mind, and then we'll kind of go down the board here. You'll see we didn't spend too much on anybody else pretty much in this class. But we're going to advance now to, where is the depth chart? How about player progression? Here it is. So here's our player progression screen. Check this out. So the senior transfer, Xavier Robinson, the best player on our team. Contact seeker, not that much speed, it's fine. Marquise Lightfoot, the other transfer, the second best player on our team. The third best player on our team is the transfer freshman running back, Mr. Sano. We have a nice senior running back there. And then we go down here, we see our 4-star receiver with 420 NL, which is crazy, but look at this. 95 speed, 94 excel, 95 agility, 9 change direction. Like, this guy is going to be insane. Just get him the ball, good things will happen. Then we see our senior quarterback, Dylan Carter, who is a 77 overall and will be our starter next year, because you go here to our depth chart. He is a full 11 overalls better than our freshman gem. Now, I'm pretty sure Hazel is star or elite, so he is going to be good. He'll redshirt, he has a good deal breaker, all those sorts of things. But if we didn't spend the 160 on Carter, who's a senior, he'll be gone. Decent ratings, 89 throw power. He's not great, but he's much better than our 70 overall quarterbacks behind him, right? There are levels to how you can think that you're a dynasty if you have an NIL. And I will say this, man, having a good first year really set me up for success in the transfer portal. I remember those 2 high school recruits, I was nervous spending that much NIL on them because I really didn't have that much NIL to spend, but I was like, geez, we have to get somebody good. So having Hazel be a gem was great for us. I also value edge rusher and offensive lineman, so want to spend there too. But getting Carter was a big get for us to at least sustain us for this season and kind of bridge the gap for Hazel. So it's possible to build a decent and fun roster at a small school like Ohio. I think I got lucky with that 80 expectation. And I also think I got lucky when it came to the simulation, how well our team did, stuff like that. But overall, I was pleased with how the sim went. And I was also pleased with the players that we were able to get. Like even Mikkel, I get it. He's 78, but he's a star. He'll be great next year too, probably above an 80 for sure. But in the same way, he also could be off my roster next year, and then we gain all of those points back. So let me show you what I mean by that. I hope I go into recruiting at the end of this video. I do. So as you can see here, this is the last note in the video, then we're done. So on this screen, we have 610 Dynasty points, which is accurate to us right now. But if we go to the recruiting screen, you'll see that we actually have 1,675 Dynasty points to spend on recruits, because that's the game factoring in all the seniors that are going to be leaving and off your roster next season. So this is what I'm saying, guys. It really matters where you spend your Dynasty points when it comes to transfers, because one, they're going to drastically help your program in the short term. And if you do it on the junior, senior level, like I'm doing, you're going to keep your roster very, very flexible. Let's just say I want to keep that 4-star receiver, and I can do that. Let's say I want to have him walk because we kind of want to redo our roster. There's a good QB in the portal, or there's a good edge rusher. Well, now I can kind of flex my roster based on what's available to me. And also, let's just say for some reason there's a 3-star gem quarterback, running back, receiver, tackle, edge rusher in this class. I'm going to have no problem going to get him because of how I built the roster for this year. So, those are some of my thoughts and a little bit of an overview in our sim only Dynasty Ohio Bobcats. Once again, this is not an official series at all. This is more so me just kind of looking over things in this game as we prepare for our official Dynasty coming up on July 6th. As always, if you love this content here on Coach Miller, like the video, subscribe, all the fun YouTube jazz. If you don't, that's fine. God still loves you. Peace.